To say 2023's Super Mario Bros. Movie was successful would be an understatement. It made $1 billion during its run in theaters. That's billion with a B. Fans online praised it for being a love letter to Mario. Many of us, myself included, going to see it in theaters multiple times. It was a hit among kids and families as well that year, getting nominated for Best Animated Film at the Golden Globes. The movie even created a viral meme with the song Peaches. Peaches, 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 making a sequel to this movie was a no-brainer. Unfortunately, what this also means is that Nintendo was guaranteed to work with Illumination again on the sequel. The Minion guys?
It'll be a while longer until we can share a glimpse of Mario.
I'm in the camp of people who think Illumination is a bad and lazy animation studio. I was riding that Minion hate train back in the day. Today's video is not about crapping on Illumination's duology of Mario movies. I really liked the first Mario movie when it came out, and I also really like Galaxy. I'll go as far as to say I think Illumination did a good job on Galaxy. And once again, Galaxy was very successful. What worries me is what this success means for the working relationship between Illumination and Nintendo. Usually, video game movies are influenced by the game, and it's just kind of a one-way relationship. But now, the opposite appears to be true for Nintendo. Many current and upcoming Nintendo games are seemingly being influenced by the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So let's talk about these games. Starting with Super Mario 3D All-Stars is a weird game. It's one of the few times that at least I know of where Nintendo did a limited release. This game was only in stores for like a year. A very special year too, 2020. And maybe most controversial of all, this collection of 3D Mario games excludes Super Mario Galaxy 2. But as you can see here, it does have Galaxy 1. The exclusion was very odd, and many people thought that Nintendo would at some point bring the game back to stores, and now it would include Galaxy 2. At least that was my headcanon. I guess I can't speak for all other Nintendo fans, but I thought they were going to somehow patch Galaxy 2 into this. Why did they exclude it in the first place? But then the Mario Galaxy movie was announced, and we also learned that we were gonna get, finally, Galaxy 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch. For like way overpriced, may I add. $40 digitally or $35 if you get it in the $70 collection of games. What was the collection, you may ask? A collection of both Galaxy games, and remember how they already released Galaxy once? So if you got this game, you were stuck either repurchasing Galaxy in the new collection, so you can get Galaxy 2 for a better deal of $35, plus you have the bonus of owning the game physically, or you could buy Galaxy 2 for $40 on the eShop. It's that classic Nintendo premium, and they're using the hype of the movie to make you put aside your better judgment and pick up the game at a price it isn't worth. But it is worth it if you want to play the game at the end of the day. And that's how they get you. The thing is, I really don't think this was Nintendo's plan from way back in 2020. I think, like with many things, they didn't have a plan for Galaxy 2. And they had a Switch port of the game done and squirreled away for when it would become useful to release again. I say this because making a Super Mario Galaxy movie wasn't even Nintendo's idea. You heard me right. It was Illumination who went to Nintendo and proposed that, hey, the sequel to the next Mario movie should be Mario Galaxy. I mean, it makes sense. They were setting up the potential of...
There's a huge universe out there with a lot of galaxies.
And yeah, Illumination said to Nintendo, why don't we do that one next? Which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Nintendo was just sitting on Galaxy 2 for a rainy day, presumably. Nintendo is known to do this type of thing. And then when Illumination comes to their door with this great idea for a Mario Galaxy movie, the moneymakers at the company start tippy-tapping their little fingers together and plotting how they can release Mario Galaxy 2 for the maximum amount of money from their customers. Using the movie to leverage this shady sales tactic, I feel like that's what's happening here. I see you, Nintendo. I see you, Illumination. Can't spell Illumination without... Another Nintendo game that was influenced by the Mario Galaxy movie was Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This Wonder form is from Super Mario Bros. Wonder and is Bowser Jr.'s main power-up in the Mario Galaxy movie. They don't really explain it, but I don't think they need to. To make the main antagonist of your Super Mario Galaxy movie the same main antagonist as Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a really great excuse to sell DLC for Super Mario Bros. Wonder 3 years after the fact. I could be reaching, but the Switch 2 edition games that we've been getting are definitely a weird beast in and of themselves. We don't have time to get into what their purpose is in this video, but I do think Nintendo wanted to sell a Nintendo Switch 2 edition for Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and hey, why don't you remind people about Super Mario Bros. Wonder in your newest movie? And to seal the deal, put Rosalina in the new DLC. If I know Nintendo fans, we will drop $20 for Elephant Rosalina. I'm really excited to talk about this next game. The next game to be influenced by the Super Mario Galaxy movie is the upcoming Star Fox game for Nintendo Switch 2. Coming out this June. I'm so hyped that this game got announced because before I was gonna record this video, I was still gonna make this point, but I was gonna base it off the leak/rumor that we were gonna get a Star Fox game this year. When we got Star Fox in the Galaxy movie, it seems like the pretty obvious and prime opportunity to capitalize on this character being relevant again. Star Fox really only has one beloved game to his name, and that game came out the year I was born. Star Fox is not really a household Nintendo character outside of the Smash Brothers community. So he pops up in the Mario Galaxy movie. Makes sense, it's great for him to show up. It's a movie that takes place in space. Let's tease a potential future Star Fox movie, and while we're at it, that's gonna generate hype for the character, for the audience, and then we can make a new Star Fox game. It wasn't this big brain guess to say we were gonna eventually get a new Star Fox game, thanks for the character's popularity boost that he got in the movie. But I think it's telling that they're doing Star Fox 64 yet again. I really think Nintendo didn't have a good idea for a new Star Fox game. This is the 4th iteration we've gotten of the beloved Star Fox 64. Technically the 5th iteration, since Star Fox 64 is an iteration of Star Fox SNES. I think Nintendo didn't have a good idea for a Star Fox game, but they wanted to capitalize on him being included in the movie, so they're like, okay, let's do a very cinematic version of Star Fox 64, which, by the way, is kind of weird considering the Nintendo 64 version is a very cinematic game in and of itself. So you may be asking, why would Nintendo even include Star Fox in a movie if they don't really have a good idea for a game for the character? And the answer is really simple. Star Fox wasn't Nintendo's idea. That's right. Once again, this was Illumination's idea that they brought to Nintendo. The head guy at Illumination, Chris Meledandri, goes to Mario's creator and the creative lead of these Nintendo movies on the Nintendo side, Shigeru Miyamoto, and says, hey, Wouldn't it be cool to put Star Fox in this new Galaxy movie? And that's the story of how Star Fox got in the Mario Galaxy movie. It was done on a whim. Everyone was like, yeah, that would be fun and exciting. And that got the gears turning for a new Star Fox game to be made in the background. A new game that we can sell the same year Star Fox made his debut on the silver screen. Pretty cool. But it would be kind of cooler if it were a brand new game in the series. If you've played one Star Fox game, you've pretty much played them all. Unless you've played Adventure. It just would have been cooler if Star Fox made another original entry in the franchise, instead of making yet another iteration of the same arcade shooter they've been releasing since the 90s. I'm probably gonna pick it up though because it's priced well at least, which is an improvement from the last two games we talked about here. Before we move on from Star Fox, I just want to go on a quick tangent, quick fun story about Star Fox's actor in the Mario Galaxy movie, Glenn Powell. The reason he was chosen for Star Fox is because he sent in this really passionate fan submission to Illumination Entertainment after the first movie came out, saying, hey, if you ever do a Nintendo movie that involves Star Fox, give me a call. That's the guy I'd want to play. And he submitted this cold audition, not knowing that Illumination and Nintendo had just greenlit the plans to put Star Fox in their new movie. It was happening sooner than Glenn Powell realized. And that's fun. I hope the new ugly Star Fox designs don't turn off people too much, because I'd love to see the momentum continue for this character. Star Fox was great in the Mario Galaxy movie. Chef's kiss inclusion. Next, I want to talk not about a game, but how Illumination's influence is even extending to the Nintendo lore. That's right, this one's for the lore heads out there. Spoilers for Mario Galaxy, but in the movie, they dropped this massive lore drop that Peach and Rosalina are sisters, but they did nothing with that lore drop. When I went back and watched the second time, I paid really close attention. Peach and Rosalina only share one line of dialogue when they reunite at the end of the film. The climax happens, they return to the Mushroom Kingdom, and the movie ends. Peach and Rosalina sharing their one line of dialogue is just a formality, I guess. So yeah, the movie says that Peach and Rosalina are sisters, but we don't really dwell on it at all, so why do we care? Well, apparently because Miyamoto and the rest of the people at Nintendo are rolling with it. What happens in the movies is now official lore for what happens in the game. So these movies aren't just simple celebrations of Nintendo with lots of eye candy. That's what the first movie was. But very quickly, the Mario Galaxy movie has turned the Nintendo movies into a vehicle to expand Nintendo lore. The games aren't going to pretend the movies don't exist. Instead, they're going to be like a good improv actor. They're going to yes and. They're like, sure, Peach and Rosalina are sisters in the games. And this isn't necessarily good or bad, but it is seemingly the reality, and one that we should all be aware of. These Nintendo movies and the people making them at Illumination can decide kind of anything about Nintendo lore now. And as long as it's greenlit before the movie comes out, that's now canon to the games. I doubt the games will do much more than the movies with that information that Peach and Rosalina are sisters. It's just going to be trivia for us fans to talk about, like right now. But they're not gonna pretend that's not a thing. Kinda unique. Has this ever happened with any other video game and movie adaptation? Have we ever seen the relationship in reverse, where movies are used to expand the canon of their games? I will say Mario is a good franchise to do that with, because ultimately the lore is pretty inconsequential. Let's wrap things up here today with one more game that I believe to be coming out because of the Mario Galaxy movie, and that is the new Yoshi game coming out this year. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. This looks like another weird Yoshi game that's gonna probably have middling sales. Some people are gonna like it, some people are gonna hate it. It's gonna be yet again another game that isn't as good as Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo, but it'll have its fans. And I do think Nintendo doesn't love putting Yoshi games out. The last Yoshi's game to have come out out was 7 years ago, back in 2019 with Yoshi's Crafted World. Pretty nuts. Like, it's a very niche franchise. Nintendo doesn't put a lot of Yoshi games out. But hey, Yoshi was super cute in that new movie. They're selling a lot more Yoshi merch recently. This year, out of any year, is the year to drop a mid-Yoshi game. And I do think the movie will inflate the sales a little bit. I'm at least marginally more interested in the new Yoshi game. In conclusion, I lied to you in my last video. I said that in my next video, I'd be reviewing the Super Mario Galaxy movie. But when I actually sat to go and watch it, I realized that the movie is kind of unreviewable because the Mario Galaxy movie isn't really a movie. It's actually a secret playbook for what to expect from Nintendo games for the foreseeable future. And I hope I've laid out enough evidence for you here today to prove that Illumination is the primary author of this script. And I'm claiming that as a neutral thing. And actually, so far the things to have come from it are pretty based. We got the Star Fox franchise being revived. We got an expansion of the Nintendo lore, which they rarely delve into. We got support for a 3-year-old Mario game. We finally got Galaxy 2 on the Switch, and ultimately, that is a good thing. So far, the partnership with Illumination and Nintendo continues to be a positive one. I am wary that these things mainly being made to make money will eventually cheapen the brand of Nintendo. But as of right now, it is actually doing the opposite and enriching it from what I can see. Capitalism good? Maybe that's an obvious take for a guy that collected so many Mario Galaxy toys from McDonald's. I tried to collect all 12. I got 9 out of the 12 and a whole lot of doubles. That's a wild story. Comment down below if you want to hear about my hunt for the Mario Galaxy McDonald's toys. For today, I'll leave you with one more piece of food for thought. The goal of these Nintendo movies isn't to be a good movie with a compelling narrative. Shigeru Miyamoto himself urged Nintendo fans when they went to the theaters to spot as many references as they could in the Mario Galaxy movie. For him, the people at Nintendo and the people at Illumination, what they want you to do when you go see these Mario movies is to play a big game of I Spy, which, you know, they do it well. It's a fun ride, but ultimately it's the cinema equivalent of junk food. And what makes me wary about the long-term relationship between Illumination and Nintendo, even though right now it seems to be going okay, Nintendo games are like the best gaming media you can give to a kid. It's the most fulfilling, it brings out their sense of play, it gives them this good sense of agency. To this day, Nintendo is the best family gaming brand. Meanwhile, the 2 Illumination movies are 90-minute Cocomelon Smash Brothers trailers, to put it cynically. The overwhelming financial success of the movies could teach programmers of the games the wrong lessons. And we risk seeing the signature brand and gameplay of Nintendo cheapen over time. And I really hope that's me just being an old man yelling at clouds. Fox McCloud. Let me know in the comments below if you're positive, negative, or neutral about the fact that the movies clearly have an effect on the games now. I think this is a very interesting discussion that is only just beginning in the Nintendo community. So get a jump on it with me in the comments below. Also, let me know in the comments if you want another video detailing how I got those McDonald's Galaxy toys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, stay super.